Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the Senior Bowl just wrapped up and the national team coached by Ron Middleton of the New York Jets defeated the American team coached by Deuce Staley of the Detroit Lions, and it was a really sloppy game. Let's talk about that first, okay? I counted 20 penalties for over 150 yards, so really sloppy stuff. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of mistakes out there, again, a lot of flags, but it's somewhat understandable. Obviously, it's not, in a perfect world, you don't want that many flags, but understanding the circumstances, literally being 1 week into a system, both offensively and defensively, you're going to have flags, you're going to have a bit of confusion here and there. But let's talk about the quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, the consensus quarterback one in this class, was perfect in his small sample size today. 6 for 6, over 80 passing yards with a touchdown. Can't really ask for anything more. He went out, he executed, showed off his decision making. He had one, his biggest throw was actually to Christian Watson, the wide receiver from North Dakota State. It wasn't the best of throws. It was a really nice adjustment made by Watson, but hey, Kenny Pickett was in there. His one drive ended in a touchdown. He was perfect. The ball didn't touch the turf, and you can't really ask for much more than that. As far as Malik Willis is concerned, this was one of those situations where if you miss the game and you're just looking at the box score, not impressive, right? Not impressive at all. But if you watch the game, if you caught the highlights, you can see the elusiveness, you can see the arm strength, the zip on the football, you can see how he conducts himself in interviews. The players just gravitate towards Malik. The coaches gravitate towards Malik. This guy, he is really, not only is, of course, he's just an intriguing prospect, but man, if Willis can land with the right offensive staff, his potential is through the roof. A true dual threat at the quarterback position. But for me, I think the quarterback that impressed the most was Desmond Ritter. Okay, this guy was efficient. He was poised. He was accurate with the football, making good decisions with the football. Threw for a couple touchdown passes. Obviously, the sample size wasn't all that incredible, but I felt like from a mechanic standpoint, Desmond looked really good as far as dropbacks under center are concerned. Him being able to move around in the pocket, just maneuver back there. He looked ready. Okay, now is Desmond Ritter, ready to be the day one starter immediately, everything like that? I don't know, but based off of what we saw today, just in the Senior Bowl, and again, he didn't really have that, he wasn't out there for 3-4 quarters or anything, but based off of what we saw today in a vacuum, Desmond Ritter looked really polished. Now, he kind of had some up and down problems, some consistency problems at Cincinnati, but man, when this guy was on, he was money. Desmond Ritter, a lot of potential there, big body guy, good enough arm, mobile. Really mobile, right? We saw him outside the pocket being able to pick up first downs. I really like Desmond Ritter. Also, not to mention his leadership. Okay, that that's kind of a hard thing to see in the game. You look at how much Ritter meant to that Cincinnati program this past in the past couple seasons. I don't want that to go overlooked, right? So Desmond Ritter, awesome day. As far as the playmakers, the weapons on offense, I felt like with the football in his hands, Beau Melton made some plays. He showed off his explosiveness. He reminds me of a classic New England Patriot type of player where you can just throw a quick screen to him and let him do the work in open field. Did he have an amazing A+ day? No, but I felt like he showed traits that will translate to the next level. Another guy was Jones Jr., the wide receiver from Tennessee. He had 4 snags for over 50 receiving yards. Pierce, the running back from Florida, just would not go down. Just a tough, hard-nosed runner. Pledger, running back from Utah, a guy that I felt like showed a lot of burst today, especially north and south speed. Undersized, definitely on the shorter end, definitely on the smaller end, but I feel like he's just one of those guys with the, when he has the football in his hands, he can make plays. He can pick up positive yardage. Also a guy who I feel like can be utilized out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Flipping over to the defensive side of the football, a couple guys stood out. Boyie, Mafe, the edge rusher from Minnesota, just an incredible day. 2 sacks. He impressed all week at practice. He was just a constant force off the edge in today's game. Okay, it was hard to stop Mafe. He was so much fun to watch. Definitely a guy that the Gophers are going to be missing next season. Perrion Winfrey, another guy that just was stacking good, consistent days throughout the week. Just a play wrecker. Loves the game of football. Just energetic, riling his guys up. Really not afraid to talk his smack, if you will, get in the backfield, make plays, and be physical, right? I know this is kind of an all-star game and everything like that. Players aren't, I don't want to say they're not going 100% because that's not the case, but it really seems like Perrion Winfrey was going up against, an all-time rival here, like the old, Steelers-Ravens games or something like that. Like, that's how much energy, that's how much, enthusiasm Winfrey brought to the table today, and so much fun to watch. At linebacker, DeMarco Jackson from App State and Chad Muma from Wyoming were making plays. They were constantly wrapping up, constantly getting after the ball carrier, and, Jackson especially, I felt like he was I felt like he was making tons of tackles out there. Really fun to watch. And then cornerback from Tennessee, Alante Taylor, he had a great interception where he initially got beat on the play, but he didn't give up. He had a awesome recovery, was able to make it back to the wide receiver, make a play on the football with a little help from an underthrown pass from Carson Strong. It was actually one of the turning points in the game as far as momentum was concerned. So you love to see that from the cornerback position. But, all in all, I felt like the defense kind of ruled the day today. There was a lot of plays where I felt like the offense got second chances because of ticky-tack penalties and things of that nature. But hey, it's the Senior Bowl. What's done is done. It is in the books. Oh, by the way, real quick, I do want to mention one more name or one more player that just popped into my mind. Jake Ferguson, tight end from Wisconsin, not really the marquee guy in this class, definitely effective for the Badgers, but, when you think of this tight end class, you think of Isaiah Likely, Coastal, Trey McBride, Colorado State, and you could even go down the list with, Charlie Kohlers of the world and whatnot. This tight end class is extremely deep. Jake Ferguson isn't really talked about as a top 2, top 3 tight end, but hey, he went out there, he had 3 snags today, a touchdown, and 60 receiving yards, okay? So hats off to Jake Ferguson for going out there making some plays in the pass game against a pretty good competition. Okay, so next up is the NFL Combine. That is the first week of March. I believe it's March 1st through the 7th. So should be some interesting storylines by that time. We still have just around 3.5 weeks before then. So it should be a lot of fun. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who stood out to you? Of course, we didn't name every single player that had a good day here, but definitely just the guys that jumped off the screen. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.